reach that marvelous moment.
If these walls could talk, after more than a century, there's still history to be made at the Shoe.
So here it is, 3rd and 2, Griffin. First down for the Buckeyes, and there goes Griffin.
Tomorrow night, Tennessee comes to town for the first ever playoff game on these hallowed grounds.
It is not the Sunshine State today.
The last time these teams met, Peyton Manning and Eddie George weren't even a glint in the eye of the Hall of Fame.
Let me tell you this, warming up down on the field in the rain earlier, he slipped a couple of times.
Well, this isn't 1996, and longer cleats aren't going to help in this weather.
It could be snowing for all we care, like we ready to play.
Careful, Tennessee. Stay out too long and you might leave with a fever.
All right, the stage is set and the excitement is high, already electric. We're just 27 hours away from a historic showdown in the Shoe between two powerhouses, Ohio State and Tennessee. Thanks for joining us outside Ohio Stadium. I'm Rodney Dunnigan.
And I'm Station Akan. The road to a national championship begins this weekend with a game for the ages. Not only is this the first ever home playoff game and first game at the Shoe in December, but this is just the second time ever these two blue bloods have met on the gridiron.
All right, let's run through the tale of the tape here. That only battle, of course, between Buckeyes and the Volunteers happened back in 1996, the Florida Citrus Bowl that featured the legends like Peyton Manning and Eddie George. Tennessee won that one 20-14. It's almost wild to think that they haven't met since, considering both have such a rich history of excellence. According to Wikipedia, Ohio State has 974 all-time wins compared to Tennessee there at 886. Of course, that last one coming in 2014, while the Volunteers have 6 national championships. Last one, of course, many years ago, and tomorrow's matchup between these two, both pretty tight at 10-2.
We certainly have a lot to get to tonight. As Sports Director Dave Holmes and Chief Meteorologist Marshall McPeak are down on the field with more on the battle and the elements the teams will have to battle.
But first tonight, if you're a Buckeye fan, that song brings back some amazing memories. Listen to this.
Buckeye Nation. Let's go.
Juice, juice, juice. Who got it?
Okay, you know, that is the song that was written and produced by former Buckeye Mecca Don. He had the city rocking back in 2014, and if you remember, that song was the anthem for OSU's run to a national title. It's the last time the team lifted that championship trophy. It has been 10 years, and the question is, can history repeat itself this year? Mecca Don released another anthem that fans and the team are pumped up for. Could this be somewhat of a lucky charm for this year's playoff run? He certainly hopes so.
30 seconds. I want some juice. Now let's go.
Mecca Don's sound, his passion, his talents, a window for the country to peek in, to really see and feel what it's like to be a part of Buckeye Nation.
Juice, juice, juice. Who got it?
His hit song, Juice, the team's anthem back in 2014 on their road to a national title. He remembers the excitement surrounding it all.
The song became kind of the rallying cry, I guess you could say, for that season. And as we went on to win the, go on into the playoffs and, MTV started covering it, and it became kind of a national thing that people were talking about. So that was an amazing thing to kind of watch.
Could we be witnessing a repeat 10 years later?
Knuckle up, knuckle up.
His new song, Buckle Up, blares through the speakers at the Shoe on game days and will no doubt help set the tone for the team's historic first home playoff game Saturday night.
To have that type of platform has been amazing.
Mecca Don bleeds scarlet and gray. He's hopeful his tunes will help to bring a bit of juice to the Shoe, a part of more positive memories for Buckeye fans for years to come.
Bounce, bouncing like we slam tape. Juice, bounce, bouncing like we.
And Mecca Don joining us live here inside the Shoe. Okay, give us your thoughts. I mean, Buckeye Nation has to be ready to buckle up.
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's going to be a tough game, but this is the environment that you want. A Big Ten versus SEC team in December, your first playoff game. A lot on the line, a lot to prove. Buckeye Nation's got to show up and show out, make a lot of noise tomorrow, but I'm excited for it.
And for you, we talked about the fact of you potentially being a lucky charm for this team after 10 years. Yeah. How does that feel? You had the city rocking 10 years ago, and you got them rocking tonight.
Man, I'm excited for it, but at the end of the day, I do this because I want to jack up the fans and, excite the team. But I really want us to win. I mean, at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that this is, gives a little bit of boost or a little bit of edge to the team, and they come out buckled up and ready to go.
Now, we know that Buckeye Nation is ready, buckled up. Yeah. Any predictions for the game tomorrow night?
I do have a prediction. My prediction is that the Buckeyes roll 34-19.
Oh,
34-19. So, and after that, are we thinking another national title? What do you say?
I think we're on the road to it. What I thought before that game against the team up north, I still think we're one of the best teams in the country, and I think we handle business, and I think we run all the way to the national title.
Oh, I like that prediction.
I like it.
A lot. Yes. And we want to thank you so much, Mekadon, for joining us here. Sports Director Dave Holmes joining us live as well. Dave, how confident are you that the Buckeyes are able to move on from the way the regular season ended against that team up north?
In just a few minutes.
All right, Marshall, thank you. We have a lot more for you over the next hour and a half, including the impacts the playoffs will likely have on NIL and a record-breaking drone show that will be taking place during the game.
All of this is leading up to our Football Fever coverage. Dave and the rest of the Fever crew have a special for you tonight at 7. Of course, kickoff is tomorrow night in prime time, immediately followed by the Football Fever post-game show featuring reaction from the players and, of course, the coaches.
And before we go to break, we are joined by the Ohio State cheerleaders. We're so glad they're here with us today. Go Bucks. Keep it right here. Welcome back to Ohio Stadium. We're counting down to the playoff battle between Ohio State and Tennessee. The kickoff to the college football playoffs likely to give a big boost to the potential value of NIL deals for athletes.
Their exposure and marketability set to skyrocket during this high-profile postseason. To put it plainly, the bigger the stage, setting up a bigger possible paycheck for players. Tonight we're getting insight on the impact this could not only have for star players, but programs like Ohio State as well. As OSU gears up for a historic home playoff matchup against Tennessee, players on both sides continuing to gain greater leverage in the world of name, image, and likeness, better known as NIL.
Now you have more opportunities for student athletes to earn compensation.
Attorney Luke Fedlam is among the country's legal leaders in the new world of name, image, and likeness. He visits campuses across the U.S., teaching athletes, athletic departments, and administrators about the rules and impact of NIL.
Instead, they pull it out.
He says reaching the playoffs puts athletes in front of a larger audience, making them more attractive to potential sponsors and increasing their NIL value.
Their names will be heard much more frequently on TV in the build-up and the execution of those games. So the opportunities from an NIL perspective are significant.
Fedlam points to several potential benefits for players. Negotiation leverage. Players on playoff teams can use their heightened visibility to renegotiate existing NIL deals or demand better terms from sponsors. There's also school competition. Schools with strong playoff contenders may be more willing to invest in NIL opportunities to attract top talent. And the potential for playoff bonuses. Athletes could negotiate additional NIL compensation tied to playoff performance, similar to how coaches receive bowl bonuses.
Could you see that starting to go forward as things continue to evolve and change in this NIL landscape? Absolutely.
But there are concerns, including unequal distribution. Top players may see significant NIL gains. Athletes on less successful teams may not benefit as much. There could be regulatory challenges. The NCAA and individual states may need to adapt NIL regulations to address the unique challenges presented by the high-stakes nature of the college playoffs.
It's college football that really is kind of forcing these changes that we're seeing across the board in college sports.
You know, it really is exciting to think about what's ahead for all of the players and all of the athletes involved in this exciting matchup tomorrow.
And I'll tell you what, you know, you can actually feel the excitement. The pressure is kind of building already. Obviously, we have the cheer squad here with us, kind of keeping things going. And I know it's going to be cold tomorrow night. And honestly, we had a bit of fear coming here tonight. But regardless of the weather, honestly, I think you don't feel it. I'm so excited that
really.
It feels good out here tonight.
Yeah,
seriously.
We've got the fever, Marshall, for sure. But how about this right here? Hey, what's coming next, my friend?
You don't feel this. You don't feel this.
Really? I promise you I don't. No, we're too excited.
It is going to be an awesome...
The sun, or what little we could see of it this evening, has set over the shoe, but we are in the dawn of a new era of Buckeye football. A live look over Ohio Stadium where 100,000 fans or more will pack the stands tomorrow night for the first ever playoff game, which is set to be a titanic tussle with Tennessee. Welcome back. I'm Stacia Nucken.
And I'm Rodney Dunnigan, live inside the shoe. We have just about all things Buckeyes for you tonight. The cheerleaders are here, Marshall's weather on the go, and we're breaking down the big game.
Yeah, speaking of bringing everything but the kitchen sink, tomorrow's game is going to be unlike any other, with some of the very special elements happening off the field, including one that will make history. Kate Seifert has more.
It's a vision in red. That scarlet glow is shining from Ohio Stadium. It's one way Ohio State is hoping to send a message to Tennessee fans ahead of Saturday night's game.
I think they'll realize that it's really going to be a Buckeye home game. That scarlet glow and just the feel of everything is going to energize Buckeye fans. And it's going to energize the team as well.
Be sure to keep an eye out for the glow as you drive along 315 too. But that's not all.
Friday night and Saturday night outside of the Rotunda, we're going to do a laser show projection up there. The Rotunda will be lit red, and then there'll be a few elements that kind of get shot up there from lasers. And then also the home team tunnel is going to be lit up with lasers for their entrances.
You'll have to wait and see that laser show in person. But we do have this video that shows examples of what you'll see above the shoe Saturday between the third and fourth quarters.
It's 100,000 people in the stands watching this moment in history.
A historic drone show. OSU's Caleb Clark says it will be the largest in college athletics. A total of 500 drones flying 550 feet above the South video board. I asked Clark if he could give us a little spoiler.
It's going to go up during Hang On Sloopy, so there might be something that you say during Sloopy that you might see on the drones as well.
OHIO. The university is asking all of you to join them in that chant Saturday night, and by wearing scarlet, so you too can be part of that red Buckeye glow. On your side for the football fever, I'm Kate Seifert.
Kate, that's what it's all about, that red Buckeye glow. And it sounds like, from what you learned, this is really going to be a spectacular show.
It's so cool. I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago in their first game of the season when they hosted Notre Dame, that was back in 2022, they had a drone show. I think it was during their halftime, paired up with the best damn band in the land. That drone show was amazing. I was there at that game. I remember just looking up with my jaw to the ground. What's amazing, I just don't get how that technology works. They're all in sync and it's beautiful. So this one will be even bigger than that and even more spectacular.
And Kate, I have to ask you, obviously the players and the coaches on both sides, the pressure is heating up. They're nervous. They're getting ready. When you talk to the crew that were setting up the lights, how nervous are they and excited to kind of put on the show for the fans tomorrow night?
Rodney, they're not nervous at all. They said that they think that all of the, that light show and that atmosphere that they're creating will be so beneficial to the Buckeyes, and that will actually help motivate them and then give those Tennessee fans a sign saying, this is a Buckeye home game. You are here in Columbus at the shoe. This is all about Buckeye Nation, and that is going to really push OSU over the edge here, and they're going to get that victory tomorrow.
That's why we have to scarlet out the shoe. Now, we know that typically the shoe shuts down after the Michigan game, but as the Buckeyes prepare to host Tennessee in this historic playoff matchup, there are a lot of people behind the scenes making sure the stadium is warm and ready. Now, we don't have a heated field at the shoe, but so far the crew here says the turf is in good condition. There is a focus on something you'll see all throughout the concourse. They've been adding heat trace to all their cold water pipes.
What heat traces is just like an electric current that's attached to the pipes to keep the pipe warm enough so that it doesn't freeze. We've hired a couple extra plumbers to be here to handle it in case there are pipes that freeze and bust.
The team at OSU adding permanent heat to all concession stands. Those without will have portable heaters on Saturday. All this preparation, you might be able to hear it now, is beneficial to Ohio Stadium as they prepare to host the Blue Jackets and Detroit Red Wings during the NHL Stadium Series in March.
And if the Buckeyes are going to beat Tennessee, they'll need a good game out of quarterback Will Howard. Sports director Dave Holmes had a chance to sit down with the Buckeyes QB. Dave, what did you learn after talking with Will?
Have more from on the field and more about your weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Marshall, thank you.
I'll tell you what, I don't think that the fans are going to mind this cold weather at all.
No!
It's just the energy, the passion of everybody. I don't feel it. I'm telling you, we're going to be rocking.
We're going to be rocking tomorrow. We have much more ahead, including a look at game day security, making sure another fight doesn't break out after the game, similar to the brawl with that team up north.
Plus, how a boy is bringing Buckeye and volunteer fans together for a good cause. All that and much more coming up. But first, let's hear it once again for the OSU cheerleaders! Woo!
Welcome back to the shoe as we get ready for Ohio State looking to make a run for the national championship.
The Buckeyes are looking to avoid hitting any road bumps when they take on Tennessee, and OSU police say they shouldn't have any bumps in the road when it comes to making sure that everyone is safe.
And they tell us they're prepared for just about any situation. And just because this is a playoff game, they tell us plans aren't changing much. In fact, they tell us the nighttime kickoff is actually a bigger curveball for them than anything else. It means they'll be monitoring the stadium and campus all day. The chief tells us there are more resources, and we asked him about a video circulating from Tennessee fans. Many say they want to take out our goalposts if the Vols win.
Obviously, we look at it. We always want to make sure we have a full understanding of what's going on out there. And we certainly, talk about those things and figure what would happen if these, try to plan accordingly. But, I know, we sometimes you have to, let social media, let it do its thing. But, yeah, we've seen those things and we're planning for those.
Drones are not permitted in and around the stadium, and the chief says he will know if one is in the air.
And perhaps more than the goalposts, we want to make sure there's not another flag planting incident should the Vols win, like we saw with that team up north. Police and deputies issued, of course, they used pepper spray on players in that brawl. The chief says that he has more answers about that potential scenario as well.
We've added some planning to that, and we're using some resources, so we feel pretty confident we'll have a good strategy in place should something like that happen again. I hope it doesn't, of course, but we do feel pretty well prepared if something should happen again like that.
And of course, just like during that Michigan fans in Columbus can expect to see Columbus police, of course, Franklin County deputies, along with state troopers and federal agents at the game tomorrow night.
It's a big deal. Now, regardless of tomorrow's outcome, this game is bringing together Buckeyes and volunteers as they're raising money for a family whose son was recently diagnosed with Sanfilippo syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that affects the brain and spinal cord.
And his name is Clark, and he's taking social media by storm and has brought these two enemies on the field together. Nick Velan is live at Easton, where volunteer fans are meeting up tonight. The money raised tonight will go to Clark. Nick, what do you say? All right, thank you, Nick. And of course, that is what this is all about. I love to see fans coming together. It's not, obviously they're going to be enemies on the field tomorrow.
That's right.
But it's about making a difference in the community. So definitely glad to see something like that.
So true. And Clark and your sweet, sweet parents, we are cheering for all of you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And again, we have much more ahead.
We certainly do, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how ESPN makes the magic happen when it comes to college game day.
And we're giving you a bit of a history lesson when it comes to the only other time OSU and Tennessee played and the Cleatgate controversy that came with it.
All of this and so much more coming up in the next 10 minutes. But first, let's send things back to Kate in the studio. Kate?
News at 6 on your side starts now.
If you only pick up one word today and learn to avoid that word like the plague, apathy. Avoid it like the plague. It's the damnedest thing in the world, and you'll run on these guys this fall on the campus. Yeah, why get up in the morning? Why play football? Yeah, you work too hard. Why do that? And hell, he'll sit there and look at his shoe for an hour. Yeah. And he's thinking great thoughts. What the hell he's going to do? You think I'm kidding you? And those people are apathetic as hell, and they're going nowhere. That's why you need good teachers and good coaches to push you a little bit. We all have to be pushed. It's a competitive thing. I despise for people to beat us. That's why when I get good football players, I'm not going to let somebody else beat us. Because I'm cheating myself and I'm cheating my players if we don't get the best out of them. Apathy. And you'll see him all over the campus. He'll be all over here. And he is never the guy that's done one damn thing to civilization.
The countdown is officially on. A mere 26 hours until OSU's historic home playoff game. Good evening. I'm Rodney Dunnigan.
And I'm Stacia Nakan. Thanks for joining us as we are reporting live from inside the shoe, now the center of the college football world, ahead of tomorrow night's big game.
And you can feel the excitement around town for this historic game, and a lot of it is coming from the sidelines where we will find the rest of our crew.
Our sports director Dave Holmes live with a drama-filled history lesson on the last time OSU played the Vols, and our chief meteorologist has got his weather on the go with an important message if you are heading here to watch the game.
And we'll get out to them in just a moment. But first, of course, we do have a behind-the-scenes look into this primetime matchup against Tennessee.
It is must-see TV here on ABC6. As you can imagine, a lot goes into making the production come to life, from ESPN's College Game Day all the way to kickoff right here on ABC.
And we spent a bit of time with ESPN's lead director for college football to give you a clear view of how this all comes together. The work here at the Shoe starts days before kickoff. Thursday afternoon, production teams with ESPN working on all the logistics.
Where we're standing right now is what we would call our game camera position.
We were with the crew for the setup at the Shoe. Even the stadium walkthrough is quite the undertaking. Planning for this Saturday night's game started weeks out.
What's this show going to look like? How many cameras? How many replay sources? All the different technical things that we're going to need to pull that off.
Jimmy Platt is ESPN's lead director for college football.
You spend all this time preparing for something, and now you just get to go execute it. So that's the best part of the week.
From the playoffs to the championship game, this is the guy setting the stage for every action-packed angle, call, and score you see on air.
When you prepare, you don't have nerves that you're nervous about it. You have that feeling of excitement.
It takes more than 300 team members to map out the product you'll see right here in primetime on ABC6 Saturday night. That's not to mention the various cameras bringing you right onto the field.
You just can't wait to get the ball in the air. I always say, once the ball's in the air on that first kickoff, then you kind of breathe.
Both OSU and Tennessee will be under pressure, but so will the ESPN production team, ensuring no hiccups as millions around the country are tuned in. Let's just say they're ready.
I think you always shoot for perfection, knowing that you're only going to obtain excellence. And when you can obtain excellence in a telecast, you've done your job.
And I tell you what, that was very cool to kind of go behind the scenes and just see all of those people. Think about this, 300 people, more than 300 people to put a huge production together for those primetime matchups. And I mean, that's not to mention College Game Day and all those other shows. So you're talking potentially, 400 people just in town for this game. Huge matchup, huge production.
It's really exciting to see that production right now all around us, because as you are coming to the game tomorrow, if you're in town and you just want to see some of the action, there's a lot of action to be seen outside of the stadium as well. But everybody wants to know what's happening with this forecast. Marshall, how many layers are we going to need tomorrow?
I don't think so, Dave. Thanks a lot. And be sure to stick with us. I have a lot of stories that you have never heard before, including the major support the Bucks are getting from the air. All of this leading up to our Football Fever coverage for a full hour at 7 o'clock. You don't want to go anywhere. We're back in minutes.
Welcome back to the Ohio Stadium, where we are counting down the hours until the first round playoff game when thousands of fans will fill the stadium, creating a glowing scarlet hue.
And not only is OSU asking fans to scarlet out the shoe, but the team is set to wear their all scarlet brush uniforms, the move possibly for good luck. The last time they wore those uniforms was back in October of 2021 when they beat Penn State, but that's not the only support the Bucks are getting.
No, that's true. I had the chance to tour the hangar of the 121st Air Refueling Wing at Rickenbacker. We want to take you up high to show you how Buckeye pride is soaring. In the hangar of the 121st Air Refueling Wing, out on the tarmac, every plane, every mission, marked with Ohio pride. But only one truly takes it to another level.
How do you describe the theme of what we're looking at here?
This is 347, otherwise known as the Bucknut.
O-H-I-O.
The Bucknut, a KC-135 Stratotanker dedicated to all things Buckeye.
It's like taking a piece of home with us.
Flying all over the world.
We deliver gas anywhere, anytime.
This dedicated crew with the Ohio Air National Guard, keeping America's military fueled midair.
Our job is to go up in these skies and keep other airplanes up in the air for as long as they are needed, whether it's a trip across the ocean or just a trip across America.
Buckeye leaves.
The Bucknut bringing the extra Buckeye pride.
Tell us about some of the elements of this plane that really show that pride.
Well, pretty much anywhere we can put a Buckeye decoration, we will.
Starting in the cockpit. Custom Block O seats.
We have Ohio on this side and State on that side. The throttles are decked out in scarlet and gray as well. You see we have this Block O etched out onto the nav table. We have this is the matching tail flashing that is on the tail of our aircraft. The back of the headrest, we have the OHIO.
The theme continues all the way through.
We have a Buckeye stripe going all the way down on the helmets.
From the seat belts to the ammo cans.
As you can see on the walls, we have the Sports Illustrated covers from all the kind of famous moments.
Personal touches.
We have all the national championships on this. That's going back on the wall. We are hoping to add to it.
Made by the members of the wing themselves.
Do you find inspiration in having that go along with you for your mission?
Absolutely. It's Buckeye pride everywhere we go.
It really just makes us feel a little bit closer to home.
No matter where the mission takes them, the heart of this wing beats Buckeye strong.
The Ohio pride carries.
Gives us pride in what our mission and what we do.
Such a cool plane there. I mean, the Stratotanker. It doesn't get much cooler than that, but all those Buckeye touches are really special. So the mission of the wing is prepare, deter, execute. And I gotta think that there is a similar mission happening on the field with our Buckeye football team as well.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, it's always great to see that members of the military supporting this team, and I'm sure so many members of the Buckeyes support them as well. So it's great to kind of see that unity there.
The scarlet and gray and the red, white, and blue. Can't go wrong with that. Chief Meteorologist Marshall McPeak joining us now. We got a little green and blue on the radar, Marshall. And we know that's going to be a factor, Marshall, in that game tomorrow, not just for the players, but for the fans. So as he said, layer up.
Certainly. I'll tell you what, it has been a very fun evening, and we have handled the conditions, so I think the fans out there will no doubt do it. You know, thanks to everybody who took part in this, obviously, everybody behind the scenes with our crew, and also the OSU cheerleaders for making this kind of fun for us as well.
Absolutely. You're going to be warm because the heart of Buckeye pride, that's going to keep you warm right there. And get a little fever. Catch that fever tonight at 7 o'clock, right after World News.